Yosef, how old are you?
Hello?
How old are you?
20.
Do you support Trump?
Yep.
Okay. If you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Donald Trump,
Okay. And what's your birth year?
2005.
Okay. So why do you support Trump?
Immigration.
What about immigration?
Yeah, I support his deportation of illegal immigrants.
Okay. And why is that?
Well, because I think if you're going to come to the country illegally and commit crimes, you shouldn't be here.
Okay. So you think committing crimes, if someone does that, they should be held accountable, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So why'd you vote Trump? He was convicted.
You're trying to pivot?
No, I'm not pivoting it at all. I'm just asking you if that's a
What
thing
crime?
that you believe in. This is a thing you believe in. Well, he was convicted of 34 felonies, and he wasn't put in prison because he was elected president. So if you think that criminals should be held accountable, why did you vote for a criminal to not be held accountable?
So there was no penalty for his New York case? Is that what you're trying to say?
In the sentencing, they were not going to send someone who's going to be president to prison, right? Otherwise, it would have been taken into account significantly more. So we could have likely seen Trump behind bars.
So do you disagree with the court in that sense?
What do you mean? Do I disagree with the court? I mean, obviously, I would. Yes, I think he should be in prison.
For
Like
what?
genuinely, I actually genuinely think he should be in prison.
For that specifically,
For
or
what?
something else?
Well, if you want to talk about for what, he pardoned violent rioters who beat police officers, and he called them patriots.
That's not illegal.
He called for the execution of people
No, he didn't.
who are Democrats, right? Literally just for saying don't uphold
Oh, wait, no, he did do
unlawful
that.
orders, right? Okay? He called for the execution of them. He's calling for the denaturalization of people who are U.S. citizens, legal immigrants, because they don't meet the standard of, wait, what was it? Like literally upholding domestic tranquility, whatever the fuck that means. I'm sorry. What the fuck are you talking? He's violating people's constitutionally protected rights. He's literally committing crimes as U.S. president. And you're just like, you know what? This guy.
How is pardoning
this
people a
corrupt
crime?
This guy, he's going to actually uphold the law to a greater extent to what you've never seen before. I promise you that. Like literally, he's going to commit so many crimes like nobody's ever done before.
Is pardoning a crime?
No, by the way, no, I think that these are moral crimes. Like that's the way I'm referencing. So like if you were to if I had nobody's ever done before, I think that like the ability to leave. Yeah, like you cannot have people in a position of president doing these things. I think he should be impeached. I think he should be put in prison. I think this is absurd. You should not be able to do this as president. I actually genuinely don't believe you should be able to do this as president of the United States. He's actively undermining democratic institutions, and we're supposed to just sit there, like genuinely, like what the fuck that's crazy. It's genuinely crazy.
Do you think
literally
the pardon power
he's
specifically
incited violence?
should?
He's not very popular, right? He's
Do you
losing
think the pardon power
popularity
specifically
constantly.
is bad,
His
or
popularity is like literally like an insane portion of the population that is specifically heavily misinformed and literally cult brained, right, at this point, right, to support anything that he says. I mean, he's literally posting things on Truth Social, speaking about him going and being president in 2028. Do you want me to pull it up? Do you want to see?
No, I believe you. It's
embarrassing. It's embarrassing that this guy's president. I'm genuinely serious. This is fucking insane. I hope people can realize that. This is crazy. Everything I just said is actually insane.
Okay, so back on the pardon thing, do you think like the presidential pardon, like that power is bad, or do you think it is just the way he used it specifically?
I think the way he used it. And I mean, I could say that in a huge portion of instances, the presidential pardon can be used in a bad connotation, right?
Do you think the way Biden used them was bad?
I mean, sure, there are circumstances. Like, I mean, I don't necessarily think like pardoning your your son is necessarily something that qualifies as morally good, but like it's an understandable thing to do as it's your son. But like still, especially when it comes to like doing favors for like family members, like genuinely like I mean in people that are close to you, that can be exploited like to an absurd extent.
So on that degree, they're the same, no?
What is the same? No, how there was no violent crime that he was convicted of. Hunter Biden was not convicted of a violent crime. And he didn't try to.
Still...
And Hunter Biden did not try to literally undermine the 2020 election results and try to overthrow, like literally go into the Capitol and beat a police officer. He didn't do that. Okay, that was not Hunter Biden. Okay.
But it's still a criminal getting pardoned for like because he's related.
Yeah. So you could wait, but you can't say that it's viewed the same. Does that make sense?
It's still a criminal getting pardoned. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. We're talking about the specific way in which it's pardoned, like the specific pardon that I'm referencing. That's when I tell
your
you
problem
that,
is that it was a violent crime.
Listen. When I tell you that about him pardoning the violent rioters who beat police officers, the reason why I'm referencing that is because it tells you that he condoned the violence that happened on that day. So all his little placating that he like, oh, he thought it was, he advocated for it to be peaceful. It was so peaceful on his behalf. He said that they shouldn't do violence. Then why did he pardon the violence? It's absurd. It is absurd that people believe that. Right? Why do you believe that? Why do you still support Trump after hearing everything that I've just said in this conversation?
Because the left is worse in every way.
How? How is that even possible?
Well, starting off like on principles, like they don't like the country, which is a big problem.
How so?
They like say the country's evil and terrible.
Okay, who said that? Who said the country's evil and terrible? You mean right now? This administration?
Yes.
Yes, this administration is evil and terrible. What's wrong?
Well,
What's wrong with me acknowledging the reality? I'm sorry. After everything I just mentioned, is that not your conclusion? Is that not the logical conclusion after everything that's been referenced in this conversation?
No.
No? You didn't hear anything that I said?
No, I heard what you said, but
then you would realize. And
okay.
that was just some of it. I haven't even referenced everything. There's so many other things.
How can you vote for a party that is like okay with illegal immigrants coming in and just committing crimes? That's
No, any undocumented immigrant that's committed a violent crime or bad crime, right? We specifically think should be deported on the condition that they be put in a prison in another country.
No, you don't.
Yes. What are you talking about?
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. That's my position. But like any
You live in
undocumented
California,
immigrant that has
right?
not committed a violent crime or bad crime
LA,
should be given
right?
a pathway to citizenship, right?
You live in LA, right?
Why are you asking me that? What a pivot.
Because my next question is going to be if there's like a referendum on if your city should be a sanctuary city, would you vote yes on that?
Would I vote yes on the? I mean, it depends on how it's defined as a sanctuary city. But yeah, sure.
As it currently is, like, are you fine with the current state?
How about this? If it's defined under my view, yes.
And what's your view?
My view. I just told you. An undocumented immigrant that has not committed a violent crime or bad crime should be given a pathway to citizenship where they don't have to leave the country, right? And those specifically that have committed violent crimes or bad crimes should be deported with due process.
Is that how it works right now?
No. Over 70% of people that are detained by ICE have no prior criminal records.
No, I'm saying so like if a criminal commits a crime, do you think like a really, really like a violent bad crime?
Dude, no, wait, no. Coming into the country is not a crime that I think is so bad. That means that
no,
like
I'm
someone should be
saying
viewed in that
they're an
perspective.
illegal immigrant and they committed a violent crime.
Yeah, I just said they should be deported.
So then how do you do that in a sanctuary city?
Well, I would say I'm confused what you mean by sanctuary city.
So like when you detain a person...
I'm sorry. Do you think sanctuary cities don't put like people who commit violent crimes in prison? That's such a ridiculous assertion.
No,
what are you talking
they don't
about?
communicate with ICE though.
What are you saying, dude? Like, can you name? Dude, I just can't even fathom that's your perspective.
That's not what I said. You're straw manning. Listen,
I'm not.
No. So how it works is when you detain them, you don't tell ICE. You don't have to communicate with them that they're illegal, right? Isn't that how it works?
Undocumented immigrant. Wait, sorry, say that
isn't that
again?
how it works?
Say it
So
again?
when you detain like an undocumented immigrant that's committed a crime in a sanctuary city, you're not like you're not forced to report that person to ICE, right?
You're not sure? I'm confused what your point is.
Yeah, do you not see that as a problem?
I'm confused. Do I not see that as a problem?
Yeah.
Do I think that I should be able to get all that data? No.
But
So
you
I don't
said
see that
you
as a
agreed with
problem,
me
actually.
that you.
I think that, yeah, I think that's crazy. Yeah, I don't think I should be able to get that fucking information because over 70% of the people they're detaining have no prior criminal records. There's so many people that aren't getting due process. There's so many people that have not committed a violent crime or bad crime that should be allowed to stay in this country. They're not harming you at all. They're not a threat to your safety and security. And you're wasting your fucking time on people that are just trying to make a better fucking living for themselves rather than fucking focusing on people who have committed violent crimes and bad crimes, right? Like the people in the fucking
I'm
position of the
talking about
presidency.
those people.
Genuinely, what are you doing with security? And you're wasting your fucking time on people that are just trying to make a better fucking bad crimes. Your priorities are rates of violent crime, drug crime, property.
No, I'm talking about the ones that have committed violent crimes. That's what I'm saying.
You're talking about the ones that have committed violent crimes. Yeah,
Yes.
again, we've already told you multiple times. People who have committed violent crimes should be deported on the condition that we put in a prison in another country. We don't want.
Yeah,
people
but they
specifically
can't in a
committed violent
sanctuary
crimes.
city.
What's that?
That's the problem.
Okay, well, I'm confused. I don't know how you're defining sanctuary cities. I think that sanctuary cities still put people in prison, like who commit violent
No,
crimes.
but
You don't
yes,
think
I know,
sanctuary
but
cities put people in prison?
Okay, hold on. You said if you're an undocumented immigrant and you commit a violent crime, you should be deported, right? If you commit a violent crime and you're an undocumented immigrant in a sanctuary city, you don't get deported.
Okay, well, I would disagree with any place that specifically does that. Is there any place you could point to that
It's
does?
like that in LA. What do you mean?
Wait, no, I think they deport people that have committed violent crimes. I don't think that's true that they would keep people in the country without putting them in a prison if they have committed a violent crime.
Are you sure?
Yeah?
So how did they make the when did they decide
Can
to
you,
like
can you
deport
give me the source for that? Like, I would genuinely be like I would think that's absurd. Like, anyone who has committed a violent crime, of course.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. But isn't it the way that
Can you
the
give me
sanctuary cities
source?
work
Can you
right
give
now?
me your
That's not the
source,
case.
man? What's your source?
The You're gonna make me get a source, bro. Not this.
You're gonna make
Trust
me
me,
get
bro,
a
that's my
source,
source.
bro. No!
Trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. That's my source.
No! Parker asked me for a source. No!
Trust me, bro.
Come on, no, actually, do some research. Is that really that difficult?
No, I'm just. Wait,
Dude, seriously.
I'm
Can you
confused.
do research?
No, okay, hold on.
Maga needs
just-
to get some research. That's
No,
gonna
just
be the new,
help me out with this.
the
Help me
new
out with this.
nickname, or not new nickname, new username for you.
Okay, help me out with this. So, if they don't report an undocumented immigrant to ICE, why are you saying that they do? Like, when is this decision made to do it or when not to do it?
When there are situations where they have committed violent crimes and bad crimes.
And does it say that in the
Right.
in the law?
Dude, I don't even know the specific connotation of the law. Okay, I bet that specifically people have committed violent crimes and bad crimes.
Do you have a source
like
for that?
We would typically say.
Wait, why are you asking me to get a source when you're making the claim? Actually, that's true.
You're the
making
one
a
making
claim.
a claim.
No, you're the one making. You're making the claim that they do deport them.
No, you were the one making the claim that there's some sort of prescription that they don't put people who have committed violent crimes in prison. Okay? That was your claim.
No, but weren't you making the claim that they do deport them?
That was your claim on their policy. You're making the claim on the policy, and you just don't want to look at the source, and you're trying to shift the burden like crazy, and you're grasping for straws.
Okay, where would I go to find that what you're saying is true?
I'm not going to tell you how to research, bro. I think you're going to have to figure that one out yourself. I think you're going to have to figure out how to research there, man.
Okay, if I find a case of a violent criminal not being overturned to ICE, you make a bet on it? Here, let's make a bet on it.
I'm not gonna bet. Go do research. I'm serious.
You're not gonna.
I'm waiting.
Oh, so you're not confident?
No, I just I genuinely didn't listen to what you just said there. I blinked it out. Would you like to just like?
Yeah. Would
go
you
look at
bet that that's the case? That you're saying that if a undocumented immigrant commits a violent crime, they do get deported? I wouldn't be able to find a case of that.
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure. That's what I'm saying. But I would
Well,
I would
that's-
lean against that. I'm not like leaning against it enough to say that I would put money or I only put money and bet on things that like I 100% am certain on.
Okay. Well, my understanding is that is the case, and I think that's a bad leftist policy. That's one of the reasons. So you can say,
Okay, well,
"Oh, Trump this, Trump
can you
that."
go find it? Because that's by the way, that in that circumstance, that doesn't at all relate to my view. What's wrong about my view? I think it's embarrassing that you had to reach that, and you don't even have a source for that. You can just admit it's bullshit because you're not
It's
going to look
definitely
it up.
not. I bet if I looked it up, I would back me up.
Okay, do it then. Oh yeah, then actually, would you? Okay, well then, what will you then? Would you put money on it?
Yeah, I bet my. Let me think about this. How much?
This is
How much
so
bread you got,
embarrassing for
Parker?
you.
How much bread you got? I'm not trying to bankrupt you.
$20
I'm trying to be
trillion.
fair.
20 trillion.
20 trillion?
Yeah, dude. I was the first trillionaire.
Okay.
Okay, buddy.
A $5 bet that I'm right. How does that sound?
Five. Bro. Okay. I'm not even gonna do that.
What?
I'm just
10.
okay. How
What's
about
the
this?
minimum?
How
What's the
about
minimum?
this? How about this? You'd have to change your profile picture.
To what? Biden? Or
And
no?
I'm
whoever-
not gonna do anything. I just like genuinely like if you're just wrong, just admit it and change your profile picture and stop being a Trump supporter.
But I won't be able to prove you wrong if I find it. That's the problem.
Okay.
Like, I'll
just go
find that
look
I'm
it up.
right, and then I
Just
won't
go-
even get to, like,
just go
tell you
look
that
it
I'm
up
right.
at this point. Just go look it up, dude. This
No, but then I don't get the satisfaction
This is his
of telling you that you're
desperate
wrong.
attempt to be like, I don't want to look. I don't want to do research, Parker. Please stop making me do research. Please, Parker. Parker, no, I don't want to look this up. No, Parker, please just. If I do look it up, can you tell me Can you tell me like what I should like do to like find the own thing that I'm claiming myself? Like, how could I find my own source? That's literally what he said. That's like actually what he said.
Hold on, I'm looking it up right now. I'm about to prove you're a fraud on stream. Just
Okay,
you wait.
buddy. Okay, buddy. I honestly, I'm not trusting his research skills. I'm not trusting his research skills based upon the conversation we've had so far. I'm not trusting that. All right, I'm gonna say thank you to a few people I got to catch up on YouTube, and I just like, it's actually fucking insane that Donald Trump's literally posting stuff saying fucking Trump 2028. That's actually just so stupid. It's so ridiculous. Alrighty. Let me catch up real quick, everyone. I have to catch up. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, top of the screen. By the way, everyone, my Cash App is still down. It's still down. Just letting everyone know. I think I put it in my link tree as well so that people see. Chris, thank you so much for the $10. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate it. Jill, thank you for the $5. Thank you so much, Madeline. Thank you so much. Really appreciate the $1 as well. Thank you. It gets reported when they are convicted. Yeah, watch him not be able to find it. Matthew, thank you so much for the $20. I really appreciate it on PayPal. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see it. Let's see if he could do some research here. Let's see. Watch him come back with like Newsmax. Donna, thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, Deidre, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Donna's mom, happy birthday. Hope you have a fantastic birthday. That's amazing. That's amazing. W's. Autumn, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $5 as well. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Tessa, thank you so much for the $10. I really appreciate it. Thank you. We absolutely did. Absolutely. I didn't get to go see family myself. I was actually at home alone, actually on stream because I'm sick, and I didn't want to get my family sick. 73 and still liberal. Thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Erotica, thank you for the $5 as well. Oreo, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Literally just to pay the bills, right? Pixel, thank you so much for the $10. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Cindy, thank you so much for the $2. Hope, thank you for the $5 as well. Thank you so much. Feisty, thank you for the $5. Sunflower, thank you so much for the 10. I appreciate it. Thank you. Elena, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $2. Thank you. Soul, thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. Yeah, the Piers Morgan Jubilee, I think it comes out on Sunday. That's what I saw on the thing. I just learned that today. I didn't even know it was going to come out yet. But I'm like chronically bad at checking my email too, so. Moo, thank you for the £2. Thank you. Laughing Leslie, thank you for the $10. Thank you. Actually, I think I'm caught up. On everything.
Wait, so I have a question for you on the specific. Are you saying
Wait,
that?
No, I don't have. Watch your source, man. Watch your source.
No, I have a source, but like, are you saying that they are? So are you saying like if they detain someone that is a undocumented and they do commit a crime, they're obligated or they're required to, or you're just saying that they can?
Well, I mean, you would say that they can, and they do.
Yeah, but they're not required to.
They can.
That's the problem.
And do.
They can and do, but they're not required, right?
Sure.
Well, that's the point I'm trying to make. Like if they just
your point?
don't want that person to be deported, they just won't report it to ICE.
Okay. So if you don't want them to be, okay. So, but could you give me any instances of that?
I would have to find one.
Oh.
You know what? I concede on the point that I don't have enough information right now.
Oof, that's an embarrassing point. But I appreciate at least conceding that, acknowledging that.
I would have to do more information.
Okay. Would you like to provide any other reason why you support Trump? Because I mean, I
because
think
he was the better candidate. That's why.
And name one quality he's better. Like literally, I don't think you can name one.
Kamala
quality.
had no policies.
Kamala, she did. I can tell you them if you want. You just didn't do research. Again, surprising. You didn't do research. You know, I couldn't have guessed that one actually.
Okay, why would you tell a Trump voter that
do you want me,
to vote for Democrat?
Okay, why would I tell you? Because
yes, like
we actually care about affordability. We want to expand access to healthcare and childcare and housing affordability, right? And taking care of the working class and middle class, lowering taxes for working class people.
Hold on. If you care about healthcare affordability, why did they end the government shutdown? And just like let the
because the Republicans voted against an amendment that specifically would have taken the $40 billion that we're sending to Argentina, and it would have specifically put that towards $40 billion of healthcare subsidies for the ACA extended for 2 years, right, to reduce healthcare premiums for American citizens. So Democrats were trying to ensure that Americans didn't have their healthcare premiums go up in cost, which probably affects someone in your family, dude. Right? Whether it be your immediate family or extended family.
Yeah, but if they cared about it, why did they like end the shutdown and make it? Because the Republicans didn't agree to extend that.
Wait, say that again?
The Republicans didn't agree to vote on that to continue the
No, they
subsidy.
shot down that amendment.
Yeah. So if the Democrats cared about that, why would they end the shutdown?
What?
You're saying they care about healthcare?
Wait, hold up. Those were the few Democrats that voted to continue it. Is not representative of the entire Democratic Party. I do agree it's an issue, but like it's not representative of the rest of the Democratic Party. It's representative of those Democrats.
What do you mean the few Democrats?
Yeah, there was like it was like 8 Democrats, I think.
Yeah. And like the messaging was like the party position was that we're going to end the shutdown and give up the healthcare subsidy now. Like if they needed more votes, then they would have got more votes. I guarantee it.
No, it's because Republicans weren't negotiating. Because they don't give a shit about harming the American people and cutting people off of health care. Because
And
hell
neither
of a
do the
lot of
Democrats.
Republicans could care less if SNAP even existed.
Neither do the Democrats.
No, wait, so many of the Democrats do. That is an absurd standpoint for you to say. I would say could you at least acknowledge, overwhelming majority of Democrats were against doing that. An overwhelming majority.
I would have to see polling data.
Okay, how many people were Democrats in the Senate?
I think there was. Wait, do you say in the Senate?
Yeah.
How many are Democrats? Is it? It's like 40. Is it 47?
I think it's 48.
48?
Mm-hmm.
48 Democrats.
That's, at least listed as Democrats. So, there's a dispute on whether or not some of them are specifically Democrats. But the point I'm saying is that that's still an overwhelming majority of Democrats disagree with those 8 Democrats. Okay? Can you at least acknowledge that?
No, okay. The Democrats that did vote to end it were the ones that weren't up for re-election. If they needed more votes, they would have got more votes. They strategically picked those ones to vote for it, just so that the ones that were up for re-election, they wouldn't have that be used against them in their re-election.
So, and again, you say used against them because they literally acknowledged that they didn't care about upholding the healthcare premiums. They could have, we needed negotiations on that. What happened to the negotiations on that? And also, why are you okay with the Republican Party just being completely okay with the government shutdown and not even negotiating? How are you okay with that? How do you overlook
Because
that?
we don't need the government subsidizing healthcare companies. That's why.
So you just want there to be lack of access to healthcare to a greater extent? You want people to lose access to healthcare? You want their healthcare premiums to go up? Is that what you want? Because that's what's going to happen.
I don't want that to happen, but I also don't want. Ideally, that wouldn't happen, but it's a difficult choice to make. You want to give government
It's a
money to
difficult
healthcare
choice to make.
companies.
So,
That's what you
and
want.
you're saying the difficult choice is that you should just let them have higher premiums.
Yes, that's a better choice than
and
giving
higher
money
costs.
to healthcare companies, government money, taxpayer dollars to healthcare companies.
So, okay, listen to this. Wouldn't you prefer a system where we had universal access?
No,
You wouldn't? Why?
because the government's inefficient.
How? In the
Private
context of
businesses do better.
but all, countries around the world have lower average costs of healthcare expenditure per capita comparative to we do.
If they're so much better, why don't you move there?
You understand because my family lives here?
So if your family lived there, you would. So you don't care about this country.
If my
you just
family
live
lived
here.
there, would I move there? Yes.
So you don't actually like this country. You just happen to live here because your family does.
I love my family.
Okay, actually, let me ask you a
Like I'm
hypothetical.
talking like I'm gonna be wherever my girlfriend is, right? I'm gonna
Yeah,
be
I don't have a problem with that.
wherever
But
my family
hypothetically,
is.
if you could
right?
choose,
And
like, where
that's gonna
your
be in
family is
America. Like
located.
my family's just not going to move out of the
yeah,
the
I'm
United
saying like
States. They've
hypothetically,
lived here their
if
whole
you could
life.
choose like where your family was, what country would you choose?
If I could, I don't have like a specific country off the top of my head. I would pick.
So you don't have
I
any
live
preference for
here.
any countries?
Well, I've lived here, so obviously I have a preference for living in LA. Like I like LA.
Do you like this country?
I like the country that I live in. Yes.
So then,
But
why
you
are you
understand
saying
that
like?
I don't like the president. I like the country I live in, but I don't like the president.
No, but why are you always going like, oh, this country's doing this better? Oh, this and this and this.
I want children in this
just go live
country
there if
to
they're
be
so much
fed.
better.
I want children in this country to be fed. I want people to have access to health care. I want people to have access to basic amenities that they need. I don't want people to have a lack of access to necessities. Why is that such an absurd take to you?
Healthcare
Why is
isn't
that
a
not a standard for
necessity.
you? Why do you think that everyone shouldn't have that? Like genuinely.
If you want healthcare, then you have to work and pay for it. It's not a like human right.
It is.
It is not grant-
Healthcare
No, it
is a human
isn't.
right. It absolutely is. Right? Okay, wait, then tell me this. Do you think emergency healthcare is a human right?
Yes.
Oh, so you do think healthcare is a human right, Just only in emergency circumstances.
Yes.
Oh, wait. So you were just saying before healthcare is not a human right. Now you're saying that we should be paying for emergency healthcare. Why? Because it saves people's lives? Well, then that's the exact same reasoning why I'm saying we should have universal access to healthcare, because 45 to 68,000 American lives lost every single year due to lack of health insurance. You know how many people have to literally choose between access to food and paying their rent and being able to pay their bills and being fucking stuck under literally so much medical debt because of the absurd costs that exist? We can get rid of that. Countries around the world have done that. The fact that we have that is absurd. It's absurd, and you're reinforcing it. And
no, I'm saying if you don't have health,
no research.
If you don't have health insurance, you should get it.
Okay.
And you know how you get it? You pay for it, and you get it, and you pay for it by working.
Okay, I'm sorry.
If you want health insurance, you work for it.
If there were hundreds of thousands of dollars of costs imposed on anyone in this live, that would bankrupt most people in this live, right? Do you agree?
That's why you get health insurance.
Based on something that they didn't even choose. Health insurance doesn't always cover everything. You understand that, right?
Like what?
Health insurance, like genuinely, health insurance does not cover everything. It should be. The fact that that's even something that we have to think about is absurd to me.
What does it not cover?
To me. And also, it's over cost because of the fact that you're leaving it up to the market too much instead of having a greater portion of bargaining power from like a public option that is going to be sufficient for everyone. You can still have forms of private, but why the fuck would you want that if you have a good system? I want such a good system that you can rely upon it. I think healthcare is so important. And the fact that you don't view it that way is absurd.
What specific things are you saying aren't covered?
Not care about people's health? It's going to affect you someday. You just not care when you get there? I'm sorry.
No, I do care. But what specific things are you saying aren't covered?
Wait, there are plenty of people that aren't covered. I'm just saying that not everyone is universal coverage. There are millions of people in this country, tens of millions of people in this country.
What kinds of things are those that aren't covered?
Uninsured and
there's a reason they're not covered, right?
Yeah, because the costs are so high.
Yeah, because we are a country that has...
The costs are high, and because people can't pay for it, doesn't mean that they should be able to get access to it. Why do we have free public?
No, that is not why. It's because medical resources are scarce and we don't have infinite coverage.
Why do we have free public K through 12? Do you agree with free public K through 12?
Yes.
You do? Why?
Because having an educated population is good.
Why?
Because they have better outcomes related to lifetime earnings and just overall well-being compared to uneducated
I don't think
people.
you're very educated, to be totally honest with you.
Well, I don't think you're very educated, to be honest with you.
Well, I don't think that's been proved in this conversation. And honestly, if that were true, that would just be evidence to my point. Wait. If that were true, that would actually... Wait, hold on. Just pause. If that were true, that actually be evidence to my point that the fucking education system in the United States needs to be revamped. Okay? That's actually evidence to my point, if anything. Yo, no way.
Okay, can you answer my question that I've asked like 5 times? What isn't covered? What kinds of things aren't covered? I'm not saying...
Yeah, so you understand that people... I'm sorry, I don't have to give you the specifics on everything that is not covered. There are so many things that are not covered that are life-saving, and I can give you... It depends on the circumstance, right? And I mean, I can give you specific circumstances, but I don't think it's necessary to do so to get you to understand that it does happen. The fact that you don't know it, right, means that you won't even understand it until it happens to you. Like, genuinely, that's fucking crazy. Like... I don't think it's something that... I think you could do research. I think you can educate yourself.
Wait,
you wanted to educate society because K through 12 is important. You should do that yourself, genuinely. Educate yourself on the fact that the healthcare industry in this country is fucking evil, right? Not because of the doctors and the nurses and the people who are providers of the care, but because of the system of health insurance that literally is based on for-profit and puts profit over people's lives. Right? And providers would totally fucking agree with that because they don't want fucking people to die because of lack of access to care. Because then why would they be doing what they're doing?
Okay, do you think that the medical system has infinite resources?
No, I never said it has infinite
Obviously
resources.
Not.
But the resources...
And because of that fact, there's a reason that insurance companies can't cover everything. There's not infinite resources.
That's not because
everything
of a lack
of
resources. It's because of greed. That's what it is. Because other countries around the world, that doesn't happen. It's because of greed.
No, it does
That's
happen
what
in
it
other
is.
countries.
You're saying that you should put greed over human life. That's what you're trying to say here.
What
And
country are you
there's-
pointing to that has
literally, you don't
infinite
care.
healthcare resources
How is this America
and can
first?
cover everything with the
Explain
best?
to me. Explain to me how allowing tens of millions of Americans to be uninsured is America first. Explain that one to me, because that doesn't sound very America first to me. That sounds like the rich first. That sounds like you want people who are very wealthy to be better off at the expense of people literally dying.
If they want health insurance, they can work for it.
Okay, so then so if someone can't possibly work for it, do you think that they should just die?
Why wouldn't they be able to, like, are you saying like for a disability?
Yeah, for example.
Yeah, I think we should have people that are disabled be covered. But if you're able-bodied, you should, and you can work, and you don't have health insurance, it shouldn't be given to you. You should work for it.
Okay, so then you're saying if someone is able-bodied, should they be able to get access to emergency health care?
They should be
All people
able to
who are
get
able-bodied
access
should
to
be able to get
emergency
access
health
to
care, just
emergency
not
health care,
preventative.
correct? Oh, just not preventative? Okay, but you understand preventative reduces the likelihood of needing emergency health care?
Yeah,
And you understand
I
that
do understand that.
you understand that like working still doesn't mean you're going to be able to afford all of the bills in plenty of circumstances because the bills become so expensive. And that can affect anyone. Genuinely, that can affect anyone. Think about a
Like,
society that
are
would
you-
be
are you
there
just
for
talking about
no,
healthcare
think about
bills
this. Think about this.
specifically?
Think about this for 1 second. Think about a society that's there for your children, your grandchildren, the children that come after them, right? They're going to grow up in a society, right, where this isn't covered. Could this affect them? Would you care if it affected them?
If what affected them?
Like your children, your grandchildren, or the children that come after them, your great grandchildren. Would you
Yeah, what about
care
'em?
if this inevitably impacted them? If it were to be up to just like private companies and insurance, if they couldn't afford it in these
If
conditions?
you want health insurance, you work. Why do you disagree with that? I don't understand.
Because I think that healthcare is a human right.
Why?
Because it's ensuring that you can survive. In the same way that I think safety needs to be upheld, this is safety as well. This is a necessary element of safety. It
When you
genuinely
give
is.
When you give
You cannot,
everybody
you
and
cannot
everything
give
they
me
need,
a definition of safety in terms of defining what a government should do. If a government should provide safety, explain to me how that wouldn't also entail that you have to care about people's access to healthcare as it ensures their ability to live. That is an element of safety. Okay, and we engage in preventative measures all the time to be able to do that.
If the government gives you everything you need and you don't have to work, why would you work?
Wait, say that again?
If the government gives you everything you need so you don't have to work, why would you work?
You understand that no one can just like literally just be like, oh, I'm not going to do anything and I'm just going to get a bunch of money from the government. That's not happening.
That people
right?
do that, actually. That is currently happening right now.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not happening to the degree.
Yes, they already have a bunch of
it
stuff
is not
provided for
happening
them.
to the degree that you're referencing. You focus so much on the very small portion of specific circumstances where people who you think don't deserve it do deserve it to decrease upon, and you're judging people who didn't even do this. You're saying that they shouldn't be able to get access to their care because of like one other person who did that, or like a few other people that did that weren't
Yes,
that.
when there's a problem with the system, you don't continue with the system. That is how could you disagree with that? And currently the system is being taken advantage where it doesn't incentivize people to work. It incentivizes them to live off government programs and leech off the people who are working and are contributing.
Wait, I'm sorry. What is the labor force participation rate? Is it above 50%? So do you agree that at least most people in our society, and by the way, that's the where it's at is like relatively good. You understand that that's
How do you
actually
calculate that?
representative of the fact that people are working. Most people are
How is
working.
that calculated?
Right. It's talking about as a percentage of the population in terms of labor force. Like how much they participate in the economy.
How is that different from the unemployment rate?
How is the labor force participation
Like what?
rate?
Yeah, what's
different
the
from
difference between
unemployment?
those two?
The unemployment rate is calculating based upon people who are trying to look for work,
Okay.
like whether or not they get a job, right? And what percentage of the population who's trying to look for work doesn't get access to a job, right? And then labor force participation rate is like what percentage of the population is participating in the economy, because there are many people specifically who aren't looking for work because, say, they're on Social Security and they're retired. Right.
What number are we targeting for that?
What do you mean?
Like, you know how we like target like 6% unemployment? What's like our target labor force participation?
I'm actually not familiar with the target labor force participation rate.
Like, are we at a good, like you said 50%, is that good or bad? I don't know.
No, I mean 50%. I was saying we are above 50%. All I was trying to say for that, because I mean it's well above 50%. It's in like it's in the 60s. What I was trying to
Is that like
mention to you
ideal?
is that most people are working. So this idea that like you're trying to make that like, oh, just like there's a lot of these people that are specifically just like living off our government programs, not doing anything, no work at all, and you know they don't have to do anything, and anyone can do that, is ridiculous, and it's absurd, and it honestly like harms people, because you're trying to reinforce these policies that restrict people to get from getting access to life-saving care, things that they need, right?
Okay,
From
hold on.
children getting
I have a
access to food.
compromise.
Like the big beautiful bill cuts 420,000 children off of free school lunch and breakfast every single month on average, right? Estimated by the Congressional Budget Office. Is that something that you're willing to accept?
Probably not the best thing, but you know, I don't get to ideally handpick everything. Wait, but I wanted to ask you.
So currently, how it works is if you're working and you can't afford it, it gets paid for, right? With what is it? It's Medicare, I think. It's like if you work enough hours a week, then you do get health insurance, right?
Under the Medicare, yeah, under Medicaid, you have to work
Medicaid.
80 hours a month.
Yeah.
It's
What
20
do
hours-
you? What's
20
wrong
hours
with
a week.
that? What's wrong with like you get health
Yeah,
insurance
because
if you are
because
working?
there are people who specifically haven't qualified for disability, they're not going to be able to get access to it, right?
But that-
And
that sounds
they
like
can
a
have wait, if they haven't yet
niche-
qualified, because it takes no, it's not niche, because it takes years to be able to qualify for disability, right? So you have to understand that there are plenty of circumstances that are going to affect people in need, because of the fact that you're just going to be a greedy little shit, honestly, that is going to just advocate for the people who make over $400,000 a year to get a slight tax cut, right, in order to literally ensure that people don't get access to the basic care that they need. It's absurd. It is absurd. Like, where are your priorities? This whole argument here is about priorities, okay? Are your priorities
Those
about
cuts
like the
weren't
working
made to
class and
support
the
the tax
people in
cuts. Those
need,
cuts were made
or
because
are
we
your
don't like them.
priorities about the rich? Okay, that's the distinction right now.
Those cuts weren't made to cover for the tax cuts.
What?
You're trying to like say that those cuts were made to cover for the tax cuts. You're saying they cut this so that they could like afford the tax cuts, when that's not the case. We cut it because it de-incentivizes working. It's a
So you're saying that you want to incentivize people to work by causing them to starve and have reduction in access to health insurance?
yes, there's certain things you need to live, and if you want those things, you have to work for
why
them.
can't you influence people to work through like a better mechanism? Isn't that possible? And also, by the way, if you want to influence people to work, right? Like, I don't know why you want to do that by harming them. That's fucked. That is actually fucked. You're saying, you know what? Because you're not working enough, I'm going to fucking hurt you. That's what you're saying, genuinely.
Do you think everyone should get a Ferrari by the government?
No, that's
Should
not
the
what I'm
government-
claiming. But I think that healthcare is a human right. I think basic necessities are a human right, and everyone should be taken care of. Your access to healthcare should not be tied to your employment.
Is
You
a
become
vehicle a
unemployed.
human right?
Wait, if a recession occurs and people can't get access to a job and they don't meet your little fucking work requirement, should they just lose their health insurance?
You can do volunteer work. That's always available.
Okay. So you think that they should have to volunteer, right, 20 hours a week in order to be able to get access to food stamps?
Yes, as opposed to doing what? Just leeching?
Leeching. Okay, so you mean like Again, these are circumstances where it's supplemental, where people are needing to get access to it. People don't stay on this for a long. On average, most people specifically are off. I'm pretty sure. I think Dean went over this. Like, it's a bit after a year, right? Most people who are on Snap, like, are off of Snap by that point. So this argument that you're making, I think, is absurd. Because you're focusing, again, on something that is a very small portion of the budget. Instead of focusing on the massive corporate subsidies, the massive defense spending, you're not focused on the massive tax breaks for millionaires and billionaires in the big, beautiful bill, right? That added $3.4 trillion to the debt, even accounting for the spending cuts that you're referencing. You understand that, right? Like, this is horrible economic policy.
People working is horrible economic policy.
No, this is horrible economic policy. It's horrible policy for people, right? And you're saying working. You understand you can incentivize people to work while ensuring these programs. By the way,
do you have under the
Biden-Harris administration, we had these programs. We were upholding these programs, and we had 3.4% unemployment. Okay, 2 separate months. So under Trump, right, we got down to 3.5% in 2019. But those, I mean, these. Like, you understand that, like, that's still lower under the Biden-Harris administration. Secondly, we can reference the fact that Trump, since he's got in office, there's an increase in the unemployment rate since he's got in office. So if you're saying you want people to work, well, what's happened since Trump's got in office?
I mean, the unemployment rate's still really low.
It's increasing, though, because of Trump.
How is he increasing it?
Tariffs, right? And the deregulation on AI. I would say both of those are relevant.
Those lose jobs?
Mm-hmm.
How so?
Which one?
The latter.
And actually deportations as well. But yeah, you were saying? You said which
the latter.
One? The latter?
Like
which
the
one?
Deregulation part.
Deregulating AI?
Yeah.
Yeah, the deregulating of AI extends the amount of firing of workers, especially if you don't have worker protections or enforce those.
Why?
Because it's replacing jobs to a significantly greater extent.
Like, what kind of jobs?
I mean, I'd have to look at the makeup of jobs.
Is that a bad thing?
Most. Well, I mean, obviously to a certain extent. There, like you understand that, like, we obviously have to acknowledge that these profits are not going to be going to those people that were working those jobs anymore. So that's bad for them. It's really bad for them, right?
Are you against, like, the
it's
idea
very
of, like,
profitable for companies and massive businesses and the tech industry, right?
But are you against the principle of, like, technological advancements, like replacing old jobs?
No, I'm not necessarily against that as in a principle, but what I have to acknowledge is that, like, we have to have a mechanism that takes care of people or that incentivizes the creation of jobs so that people can go into where people are going to be taken care of. And we have to have a baseline for everyone so that their health care and their food is not tied to whether or not they have access to a job. Right, that's obviously an absurd thing, especially if you're going to acknowledge the possible effect of, like, especially AI onto our environment, right, and the water supply, and obviously that's an important effect as well to, like, look at, and that we need to ensure is regulated, of course. And Trump, especially, is not doing that through the context of his deregulation and defunding of the EPA, and I mean, that's obviously something to address.
So, okay, back on the food stamps thing. What are you saying would happen? Like, what's your claim you're trying to make about people working and that being bad? Like, why is it bad to work to be eligible for food stamps? I still don't understand.
If you want to increase the labor force participation rate, well, then you should be okay with immigration, right? Because immigrants, legal and people who are in the country undocumented, also have a higher labor force participation rate than natural-born U.S. citizens. So Hey, you want to increase?
I love you.
You want
I
to
love
increase
legal
the labor
immigrants.
force
I agree with you. I
participation
think we
rate.
should have more.
It seems like wait, you agree with immigration, so then you disagree with Trump, right? Because he's deporting people without due process and he's against
No,
immigration.
he's
he literally
getting
said
rid of
today.
the
He said
illegal,
today on
not the
he said-
legal ones.
No,
the
no,
illegal
really?
ones.
You say that because today on Truth Social, Donald Trump talked about denaturalizing legal immigrants. He did that. He said that today.
Which ones?
Then specifically people who meet the criteria of going against like upholding domestic tranquility or something like that.
Okay, I would.
Isn't that
Just
absurd?
the True Social post, I don't really care for. If he actually acted on that, I would have a problem.
Oh.
Trump says a lot of things, but he doesn't always. You just have to look at his policy, bro.
Trump says a lot of things. That's all you have to say. That's all you have to say
Yes,
about
if
that?
he actually did that, I would
Really?
say something about it. But
Really? No. He's talking about literally supporting that and going into that.
Yeah,
And you're
if
just
he
gonna
actually did that, I would-
So he's
I would-
normalizing it. You understand that he's normalizing it?
if he did that, I would
Are
say
you
that's
okay
bad.
with the normalization of executing your political opponents? Are you okay with the normalization of all of these things? Because you understand that normalization doesn't lead to a better set of circumstances, right? That's bad.
There's punishments for crimes. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, if there was, Trump would be in prison.
For what?
For what? Well, not only for the felonies, but for the fact that he was held civilly.
Well,
liable
he
of
got
sexual abuse.
convicted
I would
of those
put him
and he's not in
for the
prison.
fact that he assaults women. Over 26 different people have accused him of sexual misconduct. Right? Do you think that all of them are lying?
Okay, both those cases you just referred to, he got convicted. So
He
you
was
have a
held
problem
civilly
with the
liable
court,
of forcibly
not with
penetrating
his-
E. Jean Carroll's vagina against her will. By the way, I just want to clarify as well.
Yeah,
He
he
bragged
got
about walking into
convicted
the
of that,
changing
no?
rooms of naked women while they're changing without their consent, where an 18-year-old came out and said there were 4 girls as young as 15 years old in these changing rooms when Donald Trump would barge in.
Yeah, if he committed a crime, convict him of it.
Okay, I think that he should be convicted for these things. But just because our justice system hasn't specifically created the laws for that, right, doesn't necessarily mean that, right, that from a moral perspective, we don't believe that. And if you do believe that he should be put in fucking prison, then why do you support him for president? That makes
I
no
don't
fucking
think he
sense
should be
at
put
all.
in prison. He got convicted of those felonies and he didn't.
No, I'm saying about all the things that I brought up. Do you think that those are, at least from a moral perspective, do you think that they should be considered crimes?
Are you talking about the 2 New York cases? Those?
Yeah, I'm talking about the fact that the reason why it was a civil case and not a criminal case is because it was past the statute of limitations. So, one, statute of limitations like that shouldn't exist for criminal cases,
Okay.
right? In terms of sexual assault cases. Yeah. Why
You don't
are you
think
laughing at
statute of
that?
limitations should exist?
For sexual assault cases? No.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think that this should exist.
Why do they exist?
Why are you laughing?
Why do you think they exist?
No, you tell me. I don't think that they should. So you tell me why you think that. Why is that fucking funny, dude? That's so weird.
Because
You're honestly such a creep.
I'm a creep because
Yeah,
I think
dude.
statute of limitations should exist. Really?
Yeah, why? What's the reason?
What's the reason they exist?
No, what is the reason why you think a statute of limitations should exist for sexual assault in criminal cases? Tell me.
I don't know. I have to ask a lawyer.
Do you even know what a statute of limitations is?
Yes, if a certain amount of time passes between when the incident or like whatever you're being accused of happens and when it's happening in court, or like when you're indicting them, then you can't indict them.
Because it's been too many years since the time in which
Yeah.
it happened. So why should that ever exist? If you don't have any reason, you'd have to ask a lawyer. By the way, most lawyers
And I
MAGA lunatic
don't just
lawyer.
automatically say it shouldn't exist.
What?
When something exists, I say there's probably a reason this exists. And because I'm not an expert in every field, I don't just say this shouldn't exist. So first I would have to know why it exists to know why it shouldn't exist, right?
Do you know why it exists?
I don't. I'm not a lawyer, or I'm not like versed in
And
law.
also, I don't think you have to need to know why it should exist, because I don't think that there is a reason why
Yes,
it should
but when you're
exist that is
removing something, you have to know
reasonable.
why it's there in the first place. That is
I don't
very
think
important.
it's reasonable to think that. So you can tell me. If you hold the position, tell me. I think that there should be no statute of limitations because, right, people, right, it takes them years to come out because of the plenty of the stigmas that exist in our society from people such as yourself that don't believe victims, right? And
I
that
never said that. I just said statute
Oh,
of
really?
limitations.
Do you
should
believe
exist. Why are you
Eugene Carroll?
extrapolating that to
Do you
saying
believe
that?
Eugene Carroll?
Yes.
Okay. So if you believe Eugene Carroll, then why do you still support Donald Trump knowing that he raped her?
Because he has better policies. And also, he didn't rape her.
Okay, no, wait, so you don't believe her?
Well, I believe.
Wait,
what
so then you just contradicted
the jury
yourself, you
found.
idiot.
I believe what the jury found.
You believe what the jury found, that he
Yeah.
forcefully penetrated her against her will. Do you believe that's sexual? Do you believe that's rape?
I believe it's sexual assault.
Do you think that's grape? Do you think forceful penetration of a woman's vagina against her
No,
will
I
is
think
grape?
it's sexual assault.
You don't? You don't think that's grape?
I think it's sexual assault.
And by the
because
way,
that's what-
that doesn't demean how bad it is, by the way, even if you were to use a different term, but that's still fucking sick for you to feel like you fucking need to literally change the terminology. You don't think forceful penetration of a woman's vagina against
I'm
her
not the
will is
one who
grape. You're a
decided-
disgusting fuck, genuinely. Like, why do
court
you...
is the one who
you
decided
are
on that
so
terminology.
fucking weird. You're so weird. This is why I called you a creep. You are a fucking creep.
Do you think
genuinely,
the
like,
judge that
genuinely
said
are
it
a
was
creep,
sexual
bro.
assault is a creep?
You're a creep.
Is the judge a creep that said it was sexual assault?
No, he said it was grape.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he said that Donald Trump, in fact, graped Eugene Carroll. Did you know that?
Then
I can
why
pull
didn't
that
they
up for
convict
you.
him of that?
Do you
Why
want to
wasn't he
bet?
found civilly liable of grape?
No, he said that Donald Trump, in fact, graped Eugene Carroll. Did you know that? Because there was an appeal, and Eugene Carroll won the appeal. Donald Trump lost again. So do you want to bring that up? You want to talk about what the judge said? Because you fucking lost on that one again, buddy. You made up shit off of the fucking top of your head, and it wasn't even true. And you got cooked. That is straight instant karma. You just got exposed.
Okay, if he was found of rape, then why isn't he in prison?
Because the statute of limitations on criminal cases that you were trying to defend earlier.
I'm not necessarily trying to defend them. I'm just saying I can't say they should be
yeah,
removed
you
because I don't know
are.
why they're there in the first place.
You literally
Okay,
were.
if you're saying they should be removed, why do they exist in the first place? Give me the argument.
I don't think there's a good argument for it.
Okay, what would someone who made that law, what would they say?
I don't think there's any good argument for it. I don't think there's any good defense.
You can't steal me on the other side?
No, I don't think that's a position I would steal. That's like honestly to me, that's like asking someone to like, yo, could you steel man like this neo-Nazi position? Like, no, I'm not gonna do that. What?
You think it's
That's like that is
bad?
that's yes.
Then why does it exist if it's so terrible? I don't understand.
What do you mean? You understand that I'm saying that this is so bad because it harms victims' abilities to hold their abusers accountable in court. And then you literally fucking don't believe it because of that. And by the way, you don't even accept the criminal case. So it's like the
I
whole dispute
do accept
of,
the criminal case. What do you mean?
Really? You accept? Okay, you do actually? The felonies? You accept the
Yes.
felonies?
Yes.
Well, I apologize. I got you wrong. I must have been thinking about someone else.
Guess what? He was convicted of those felonies.
Okay. So can we go back to what the point we were making?
Which one? With the statute of limitations?
Yeah, you believe that this happened, right?
Yes.
Okay. So then you believe that Donald Trump is guilty of this, right?
Well, what I probably think happened is that they had sex. That's probably what I think happened.
You're fucking disgusting, right? You understand that literally Donald Trump said, one, they never met. Two, right, you're saying that it was consensual. One, that was never the claim of Donald Trump. Two, right, literally Eugene Carroll talked about the fact that it was not consensual. Why would you believe that it consensually happened if none of the people involved claimed it? Do you realize how fucking stupid that is?
Okay, for a second, let me take a neutral position. How do you
If
determine whether or not it was
you're claiming they
consensual or
engaged
not?
in quote unquote consensual sex. You don't.
Yes, how do you determine whether or not it was?
None of the individuals. Trump didn't even claim this. He claimed that they never met, And then he mistook a picture of E. Jean Carroll with his ex-wife when he said that he wouldn't have sexually abused her because she's quote-unquote not his type.
How do you determine if it is or not?
What's up?
Is it not impossible to determine if it is or not? I don't understand.
Wait, what?
Is it not impossible to determine if it was consensual or not? I don't understand.
None of the people involved claim that happened. Why do you believe that if that's not even a claim from anyone involved?
Well, one side did claim it and one side didn't.
Okay, so now you don't claim that?
No, what? I'm saying that could have been what happened. That's probably what happened.
Why are you posing a hypothetical that didn't happen when literally there's no evidence of that? Literally, neither of the people
What's the
involved
evidence
claim
for
that
it?
happened. What?
What's the evidence for it?
The fact that E. Jean Carroll had a consistent story over multiple decades. The fact that Donald Trump has 26 different people that have accused him of sexual misconduct. Right? The fact that Donald Trump literally bragged about walking in the changing rooms of naked women while they're changing without their consent. And literally, an 18-year-old came out to their four girls as young as 15-year-old in these changing rooms when Donald Trump would barge in. He said he would date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years. He has a history of sexualizing his daughter. Saying yeah to Howard Stern, calling his daughter a piece of ass. Saying he had sex in common with his daughter. Saying he'd be dating his own daughter if it wasn't his daughter. And calling his daughter voluptuous as being sexually attractive and curvy. Okay. You understand that, right? Like, and also you do believe E. Jean Carroll, right?
What I said is, I believe they had sex. That's what I believe.
Okay. You have no evidence to believe this, and it's fucking disgusting that you're saying that. You're literally saying a great victim, right, that it was consensual to them with no fucking evidence. That's so sick.
Are you a person that...
That's so
Are you a
sick.
type of person that thinks that we should believe all accusations?
I think you should believe credible accusations, yes.
Credible? What makes them credible or not?
Yeah, like if you made a claim right now of something bullshit right now, we shouldn't believe that because there's not evidence. But for people specifically that are making claims about what they witnessed and what they haven't,
what evidence
in these
are we going
particular
off of?
circumstances, it's very unlikely for people to make claims that are inaccurate about this, especially when there's 26 different people that are accusing of someone of sexual misconduct. I have a question. Would you specifically believe that this was true if it happened to anyone in your life? Would you still stay friends with them if they had 26 different people that accused them of sexual misconduct?
Well, I don't know anybody that's like high status. It probably happens to a bunch of high status people like Trump.
Okay, so if you met someone that was quote unquote high status, you met someone that was high status,
He's got a lot of...
would you stay friends with them?
Figure.
Would you stay friends with them if they had 26 different people that have accused them of sexual misconduct?
Not if those claims are incredible.
Well, I'm asking you the question. Because
not if those claims are incredible.
You haven't looked at any of the claims yet. Just based upon the fact that you haven't looked at them.
Yeah, I haven't. And if I looked at them, they weren't credible.
If you haven't looked at them yet.
If they were credible, then I wouldn't.
Wait, okay, so you would... So there is a... So you would stay friends with them before looking into it?
No, I would look into it and then determine.
No, given that you can't look into it for 6 months, okay? There's something mentally blocking you from being able to do that from a logical perspective, okay? If that's the case, then can you answer the question?
Oh, this is a hard hypothetical. I would say no. I would not be friends with them.
So you wouldn't be friends with them, okay? So if you wouldn't be friends with someone based upon the standard, why would you still vote for this person as president? Based upon the standard, you would believe.
Well, the president
by the way,
friend.
and I don't mean it in that context. I'm not making a straight literal comparison. What the point I'm comparing is the likelihood of truth. If you believe it with a friend, that means you think it's very likely to be true because it's a friend, right? But if you're referencing this, right? I'm saying we're trying to determine whether or not you believe it's likely to be true, right? So if you would believe that 26 different people accusing this individual of sexual misconduct would indicate that this would be likely to be true, at least from a perspective that you would indicate that you wouldn't be friends with someone, well then wouldn't that be good enough reason to believe it's true to say that you wouldn't support Donald Trump? Because again, we gave you the individual that is quote unquote to your degree of high status and you just somehow became friends with them.
Well, that hypothetical doesn't apply because I can look at the context.
Okay, have you?
No.
So you cannot currently access that right now. That's why I'm giving you the hypothetical in this
Well, you
way.
said 6 months. I would say I would look at it first and then determine.
What? Okay,
I
so
would look at it first, then
can
determine.
you make a determination as of right now? Say that you couldn't possibly do that. You can't do any more possible research right now. It's impossible. Okay? Given that that's the case, can you answer the question?
Well, in that hypothetical, I would say that, like,
I'm just trying to
obviously,
get
no,
you
I
what your
don't
thought
support him.
process
But
is
that's,
in this very moment. That's all I'm trying to get, man.
yeah, but that hypothetical doesn't
hell.
apply.
What do you mean? It's literally right now. I'm trying to get the
I
idea that
answered
you
your
have
hypothetical
right
and I
now.
said it doesn't apply. What's wrong with that?
Oh my god, what do
I
you
would
mean
say-
it doesn't apply?
It doesn't apply because I can look at the context.
You can't right now. It's not currently
Okay, I can't
accessible
right
to
now.
you. That's why I'm trying to get you to answer the question. Oh god.
I did answer the question. I said no, I would not support him. I did answer the question.
Oh, so you wouldn't support Trump? So you don't support Trump?
If I couldn't look at the context, yes.
So you don't support Trump as of right now until you do and look at research?
Yes.
Okay. All right. By the way, you have a Trump 2024 flag, and I just got you to concede as of right now that you don't support Trump until you do research.
Well, I would say it's more of a neutral position. I'm agnostic.
Okay, well, let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Crazy take, by the way. Allison, thank you so much for the $5. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Literally, I can't believe that I just got him to that. Holy fuck, dude. Oh my god, dude. Oh, that was pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty bad. Okay. Alrighty. We're gonna go into the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Let's go on the next individual.